It was 2017, and like every holiday season, I was sitting in a mall all decked up in my red and white Santa attire. The white beard had made me sneeze thrice already. Kids were coming up to me with their highly imaginative Christmas lists and taking pictures with me. The parents scattered around and watched their kids with joy. This one toddler came, imaginative Christmas lists and taking pictures with me. The parents gathered around and watched their kids with joy. This one toddler came, and I suppose it was his first time meeting or and taking. The year was 2017, and like every holiday season, I was sitting in a mall all decked up in my red and white Santa attire. The white bushy beard had made me sneeze thrice already. Kids were coming up to me with their highly imaginative Christmas lists and taking pictures with me. This one toddler came, and I suppose it was his first time meeting or he stared at my big white beard and then peed himself out of fear. I felt an unnatural warmth running down my leg. I lifted the boy under the armpits, set him on his feet next to the chair, and stood up. He started crying, realizing that he had wet himself in front of Santa Claus. His blonde mom came and took him away. I was thinking to go out for smoke when someone yelled, "Santa! Santa, I want to click a picture with you!" I turned around and saw a man in his late 40s standing in the crowd, staring at me with a weird smile and jolly eyes. Grown-ups, too, take pictures with me, so I didn't hesitate and said, "Sure, come." I sat down again and he walked up to me. I was adjusting my fake beard when the man sat down on my lap, like it was a very normal thing to do. "Hey, what are you doing?" "What? This is how people take pictures with you." "No, that's just kids. Get up." But surprisingly, he didn't get up and took out a Polaroid camera from his pocket and said, "Can you please look at the camera and smile for me, Santa?" "Excuse me, but you need to get up from my lap." I had to scream because the man wasn't getting it. All the people in the mall looked at us and noticed the tension. The man chuckled creepily and said, "Don't worry, I'm not going to pee on your lap. Let's take the picture, okay? Be a nice Santa now." I was stunned by his behavior. He was a second away from taking the photo when I pushed him hard and he fell to the floor. He broke a tooth and I saw it roll away, sprinkling blood on the white mall floor. I got up thinking he will come at me now and prepared myself for a big chaotic fight. But the man didn't do any of that. He stood back, looked at me, and then smiled, flashing his hurt jaw with a missing tooth. His smile was sinister. "This isn't over yet, Santa." And he walked away. I stayed in the mall for another 3
fields. No. It's been so long since you felt like your feet were lying awake at night, 'cause you're terrified to close your eyes. Right.
hours, but did see the man rapidly. Session ended, and I changed into my regular clothes to head home. I lived nearby and wanted to save the money for the bus, so I decided to walk home. The streets were almost empty. A thick layer of snow and a chilling cold made smoke come out of my mouth every time I breathed. I reached home without any trouble and was unlocking the door when I felt someone was watching me. I turned around and saw nothing but the tall street light standing across the street. Man, I'm tired. I went inside and closed the door. There was some leftover lasagna from last night. I tossed the food in the oven to warm up and went to take a shower. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in one horse open sleigh. When I came out of the bathroom, I heard the oven beep. Ugh, food. Here I come. I changed into my pajamas and stepped into the kitchen to finally eat. As I opened the oven lid, I almost got a heart attack. What the? Somebody had placed a dead rat over my lasagna, and the heat squished it into a blobby ball of flesh, fur, and filthy liquid, dripping all over the lasagna. Hello, Santa. I recognized the voice, and a cold shiver ran down my spine as I slowly moved my head towards the source of the voice. It was that crazy dude from the mall. He smirked. I wanted to punch myself for not closing the main door. I missed you too, Santa. Take me up, please. Dancing and singing the same song, which I was singing in the shower. Oh, jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, on it ride horse sleigh. Isn't that what you were singing? So that means, yep, I was watching you. You want to know a secret? Saying this, he licked his lips and added, I liked what I saw in there. I quickly went to fence from this fruit, but found it missing. Are you looking for this? The freak took a knife. What do you want? I already told you that before. I wanted to sit lap, but you pushed me. Do you have any idea how tough it is to get Santa's attention when you grow up? Do you? But I'm not Santa Claus, you know? Shut up! You're as real as me! And you'll take me onto your lap, and then I will curve this big forever smile on your face, so sure to remember! He lunged at me with the knife, but I moved and he missed. His bobbing head hit the kitchen slab, and I heard a skull crack sound. Even though he hit his head, he did not let out a single scream. Rather, got up with a huge bump on his forehead and began coming at me with the knife again. I quickly got into my room and locked the door. Get the hell away from my house or I'm calling the cops, psycho! Come on, just one picture wouldn't kill you. Just one picture, Santa. I'm dialing 911 now! Ah! Why can't you let me have my moment? It's Christmas! But I was done with his bullshit. I told the 911 operator about this home intrusion and waited for the cops to arrive. The man pleaded and banged and kicked on my door for the next 10 minutes. When he realized he can't get in, he stopped. Everything went silent. I slowly walked to the door and placed my ear on it to hear his footsteps. Did I get you, Santa? That's when I heard the cop siren in distance. Fine, I will leave. Hope I can get my picture next year. Merry Christmas. I sat on the floor. My heart was beating like a wild horse. His footsteps finally faded away. So I reported this guy to the cops. He was never caught. I changed my address and definitely not taking up the dressing up Santa job this year.
I don't fight self.
Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying the video. If so, please leave a like. And also, a small percentage of people that watch my videos are actually subscribed. If you want to support this channel and make this channel reach the 1 million mark, please consider subscribing. It's free and you can change your mind later. Enjoy.
Have you ever heard the phrase dreams always come true? What would you do if you lived that phrase in your own flesh? Or rather, what would you do if your dreams come true, but you only have nightmares? I will now tell you how, as a child, all my nightmares came true in one night, and if it wasn't for a stroke of luck and a lot of help, that nightmare would still be tormenting me every day until it took me with it. Started an 8-year-old worried about me. I had a lot of sleep disorders and I was doing poorly in school because I was always tired. They didn't understand what was wrong with me, and I can't blame them. I never told them what I was going through as long as I could. At some point, my eyes would close and I would have to face my nightmares. They were always the same. I was at home in a Christmas sweater. I heard a noise playing nowhere to see Claus my presents. When I get to the dining room, Santa has his back turned. Alerted by the noise I make, he turns around and looks at me. Something's wrong. His face. Santa is not my friend. Santa is a monster. Santa stares at me. I can't move. I can't do anything. And he knows it. Suddenly, he walks towards me with his hands raised, ready to catch me. Everything goes black, but I feel strong pain in my head. Suddenly, full of sweat and in tears, I woke up. That horrendous dream tormented me for years and years. Until one day, when I had already turned 14, I decided to abandon my dreams and enter my house on Christmas. Meg, are you sure you don't want to go to your uncle's house with us?
No, Dad, I'm fine. I'm just really sleepy. I feel like I can sleep today if I stay.
I lied. I will avoid him. Okay. Are you sure? Your uncle always asks for you. Since your aunt passed away, he doesn't see you. You must go sooner or later.
Of course, Dad. I will. I just feel like I can rest. I feel so bad.
Okay. Well, if you regret it, just call us and we'll come for you immediately. We are only a few kilometers away. As soon as my parents left, I made myself a coffee. I was very sleepy, but it was Christmas, and I had to avoid sleeping at all costs, at least until the 26th. I was whisking my coffee in the kitchen, staring until a sound coming from the dining room alerted me. Confused, I put down the coffee and grabbed a knife, carefully approaching the source of the noise. When I saw the source of the sound, I froze. It was someone dressed as Santa Claus in the same position as in my dreams. Santa turned around and had exactly the same face I saw for so long when I closed my eyes.
No, this has to be a dream.
I pinched myself as hard as I could, but I was in pain. This was not a dream. This was happening.
Who are you? What do you want? Why are you chasing me? Why are you doing this to me? No! Get away from me!
It may repeat the same thing as in the dream, but this was real life, and I wasn't going to stand by while he attacked me. With Santa's distraction, I ran into the bathroom and locked the door. On the other side, I could hear banging, kicking, and even headbutting. Santa was trying to get in.
Get away from me! My parents just went to get something. They'll be here any minute.
I was lying. My parents coming for hours. As soon as I said this, the banging stopped. Had I scared him? Now I just had to be patient. Wait for the right moment to run out of the house.
How did you get get in here? The door's locked. There's no way you could have gotten in.
I stood up to open the door and escape, but the very lock I'd put on it was what gave Santa enough time to grab me by the hair and pull me into his bag. Inside it, I kicked, resisted, and tried to break it, but nothing worked. This was not a normal bag. In the dark, I felt blows all over my body, as if Santa was pulling me down the staircase. I screamed and screamed as much as I could, then closed my eyes and cried, surrendering, until suddenly I heard a familiar voice. What's wrong with you?
My baby, what do you...
Megan,
No, it's carrying me down the stairs. Santa? Sweetheart, you were alone. We both saw you falling down the stairs by yourself.
we came back because we forgot the presents for your cousins. When we arrived, we saw you falling down the stairs alone. There's nobody here.
Meg, we're your parents. Trust us. There's something you're not telling us.
Fortunately, I had been unharmed by the fall. My mother helped up and escorted me to the table while my father made me tea. It was hard, but I told him everything. After that, I went to a lot of psychologists and also told them about my dreams. After many years and some hypnosis therapy, I discovered that just as I was hiding things from my parents, my brain was hiding things from me. With the psychologist in front of me, I had Santa's dream again. But this time, it was not a dream. It was a memory. I was only 8 years old. I heard Santa in the room, so I went to spy on him, found his face. I realized it wasn't Santa. It was my uncle in disguise. He wasn't dropping off presents. He was choking my aunt, who was on the not on. This alerted my uncle, who turned around, looked at me. What are you doing?
Santa? What's going on? I don't understand you.
Furious and conscious of the drug, my uncle walked quickly towards me and without my reacting, threw me against the wall and hit my head. When they woke me up the next day, my parents thought I had fallen. I didn't remember anything. When I talked to my parents about it, they both went to confront my uncle. My father fought with him, and in the middle of the fight, my cousins were almost my age. They burst into tears and asked us for help, yelling at us that not only did my uncle beat them, but they had witnessed how he killed my aunt a year after that Christmas. It has been 10 years since it happened. My uncle's in jail, and my cousins live with me and my parents. With a lot of time and therapy, I stopped dreaming about Santa and started to enjoy Christmas. I spent my whole life thinking about how to escape the monster of my dreams, when in reality they were just trying to warn me that this monster was real. It was much closer than I thought.
doesn't enjoy Christmas? It's a time of holidays, family, love, and gifts. It would be a shame if a traumatic event marred the joy of those days, wouldn't it? I used to love Christmas, like any other child who likes gifts. But what excited me wasn't really the things I received, but the one who gave them, Santa Claus. As an extremely curious girl, the mystery of that man in red clothes always kept me on my toes, as I wanted to catch him more than anything else.
Daddy, help me make cookies!
I had even researched what he liked.
Dad, can I get Santa Claus a glass of milk?
I had also thought of becoming part of his workers.
Dad, will you buy me an elf costume?
Now, on this occasion, I wanted to go one step further.
Daddy, can we buy a night camera?
No, Alicia.
I felt as if my heart was breaking as soon as I heard his answer.
Why not?
That's too much.
But Santa!
You can't, little one. It's invisible.
If he was, I'd already know at this point.
Okay, I'll tell you the truth.
My dad finally turned to me and said,
He's so fast, you couldn't see him.
I just looked at him in annoyance.
Can I at least stay awake? I want to check it out.
No, honey, you know you have to sleep.
Please, make an exception for...
I said no! Go to sleep.
Even though I didn't want to, I went to my room to follow my dad's orders. There was my little sister, Lori, who was already asleep. It seemed to be very easy for her, but it was really hard for me. In fact, I had to convince myself I would have many other opportunities. When I woke up, it was already dawn. I tried to fall asleep again, but I couldn't. So I quietly got up, left my room, and went downstairs to the kitchen. There, under the Christmas tree, were several presents. I wasn't really excited. In fact, I was completely disappointed, since the cookies I had made and the milk I had served were still on the table by the tree.
Didn't you like what I prepared?
Without thinking much, I grabbed the cookies and ate them one by one. But before I could drink the milk, I heard a noise. I wasn't able to see much, but between the curtains, I watched as something red moved outside.
Oh my God!
I quickly ran to the door and opened it. There, near the walls that separated our house from the condominium, something was walking. Even though I wasn't wearing anything warm and my shoes weren't the best under the circumstances, I ran outside. What was walking was neither a man nor a woman, or at least it didn't look like it. It was some kind of humanoid figure whose legs were spindly. In fact, it looked like a skeleton. A shiver ran down my spine as the seconds ticked by. That thing walked like a spider with missing legs would, since it wobbled as it moved. It was repulsive to watch. Slowly, trying not to make a sound, I started to back away, but suddenly the spider went still.
Cookies.
From one moment to another, that thing had turned its head. His 4 yellow eyes were staring at me.
Eat.
This time, instead of wobbling, he started hopping to get closer to me.
Cookies. Eat. Santa.
When I saw how the hat he was wearing fell to the ground, I reacted and started running towards the forest. For a moment, it had seemed like a much better idea to get that creature away from my home. But it was hard to run.
Eat.
Since the monster seemed to be very close to me, I grabbed a rock as soon as I found one, turned around and threw it at him. The rock had landed right on one of his legs, which bent to the other side. It seemed to be quite painful. I didn't wait any longer and ran out of there. I wanted to get home as soon as I could. It was so cold, my nose and throat were starting to hurt, so I stopped and lay down on a tree. When I regained consciousness, the spider's yellow eyes were right in front of me. I tried to move, but his feet, or hands, except the one I had hurt, were keeping me still.
Smells good. Like cookies.
With tears in my eyes, I couldn't contain myself any longer and shouted,
Let me go! I'm a girl, not a cookie!
I can't tell the difference if you ate cookies. Especially cookies for me.
They weren't for you! They were for Santa Claus! He didn't want them!
But now, I need cookies.
In that instant, I realized who I had been looking for all that time was right in front of me.
Why are you a monster?
You always expect something different. A human couldn't do what I do.
Suddenly, he started to bring his mouth closer to my right arm.
You wouldn't hurt a child.
But you hurt me.
Hurt you?
A green liquid was also coming out of his bent leg.
Now I need cookies. Cookies heal.
Wait!
Suddenly, I felt a sharp pain in my arm.
Ah! Ah!
When I woke up again, I was still there, lying in the snow. My arm was swollen, and I was very cold. I don't know exactly how much time passed. My dad finally found me. I had to spend days in the hospital for my body to recover.
It was him, Dad. It was Santa Claus.
Santa Claus doesn't exist, little one. He's not real.
Nobody ever believed me. But I know what I saw and heard that day. That's why I do what I do now. Good night, sweetheart. I will not let my family or anyone else find out the truth.
Always barely holding on, lying awake at night, 'cause you're terrified to to close your eyes. Right when you let go, but you're not alone. And you know deep down inside it's gonna be alright.
Hey guys, my name's Sid. If you lived in my neighborhood when I was a kid, you might know me as the bad boy. The one who wore a skull t-shirt and the one with the ferocious killer dog. But all stories have two versions. Only no one ever wanted to hear